This is a recording demonstrating the use of asset XML files for the creation of segments within iTX. These segments will live on an external store, actually a Diva in reality. However, this is going to be simulated by a CIFS store endpoint. So what we've done on our NAS store is create a folder called Diva, and this is going to pretend to be our external store, and in there is an asset called zmcb test asset.mpeg. It has a duration of 5 minutes 12 seconds. That's important for later on. As you can see, this asset isn't being ingested, it's just sitting there as an available asset to be picked up during a search restore process. Then I've created a number of asset XML files. So the first one is called step 1, create the parent. So the way assets work and segmentation works within iTX is you have to have a parent asset, and then we have co-reference assets that refer to that using metadata. So in this scenario, the parent asset will never be scheduled, only the daughter clips or co-reference clips. So here I'm calling this parent asset test asset. The title is parent clip so that we know for sure. I'm adding a test category. It has an external store, so it's actually pointing to an endpoint called diva temp, which in turn is pointing to this folder here. And it's an external store. And I'm then creating the soft segments using asset XML. So they all relate to the parent asset. So there's segment 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can see the time codes of all of these segments are relative to the parent asset. But note that the last segment starts at 4, goes to 6, and the duration of the clip is actually 512, so that will create an issue which we can resolve manually at the desktop. Note that the original asset has no duration. So if I go back up to the drop folder for the assets, so we'll go in here now, we can see we've actually received a schedule that has the segmented assets in them, and they're all red because they're not available. And if we do a search, we can see that there are no assets beginning ZMCB. So the first step is to create the parent asset. So go back to the desktop. We can see there's a parent asset now being created in the system. It has no proxy, no physical media, but it has a start and end of 0, absolutely 0 direction, and it has a location of an external location, which is pointed to this record here. So at this point in time, we still can't satisfy these assets. So now if I add in the first segment, so remember this is just creating a reference in the system to the parent asset with specific time codes. So now you can see this has gone blue, so it knows it's on an external store, and it will actually initiate a recovery process. You can see this is currently archived, the other 3 are still missing. So what will happen in the background is this will start to ingest. But whilst we wait for that to occur, we'll go quickly to the asset segmentation layout, and you can see there's a parent clip, and then there's all these segments that have been created. So we can actually skip through here, and we can see there's part 1 is sort of the first third, part 2 is the latter part of that, and you can see the media is already in, so we can start to actually bring it up. So this is still blue. Media transfer will actually start the next time it's checked. It's being checked every few minutes. So whilst we're waiting for that, there you go, it's just switched to ingesting. So it's now ingesting, and you'll see on here the little I appears, and the status of that is ingesting. And once that has ingested, you'll see the timecode updates here. So we'll sit and wait for that to occur. And then you'll see the status goes for orange, which is actually caching onto the playout server, and then it goes green. So we'll just add some more assets in between so that we can give it some time. Okay, it just went orange, and now we have the proper time code. So now if we ingest the remaining asset XMLs, we can do them all at once. The only proviso is that the first one has to go in first. The parent has to be created before we can create the daughters. So if we go to asset XML now, we look, we have all of them in place, and they're all going and fetching media. and you can see they've immediately been satisfied. And this one you see has an issue. So if you remember that it's now scheduled to play from 4 to 6, but the media ends at 5:12, so we can actually go and fix that, and that goes to the correct place there.